Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's up, everybody? It's a content review. We're back with another Architectural Digest house tour. Look, here's the thing. I have to just come out here and say this. Architectural Digest tried to cancel me. I know it sounds crazy. A little bit hard to believe. I'm looking at my microphone. I see there's an echo dial on it. I'm gonna turn it up. I was gonna see what happens. Oh, whoa. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's interesting, isn't it? I don't know if we're ever gonna do this again, but Architectural Digest, I can really make it. Architectural Digest tried to cancel me.
Bruh.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. So, I made my most recent video titled Does Kendall Jenner Hate Christmas? And it was up for a little while, and then it got suddenly taken down for copyright reasons, and basically it's like every 5 seconds of the video, each 5-second portion was like copyright strike, Condé Nast, copyright strike, Condé Nast, copyright strike, Condé Nast, copyright strike, Condé Nast. Condé Nast, of course, owns Architectural Digest, and I'm sure, as all of you know, I've made many house tour videos, Architectural Digest, and people react to these videos all the time, and they're not copyright stricken. So what's different about my Does Kendall Jenner Hate Christmas video? It's about a Jenner / Kardashian, of course. So, you know, they, of course, someone from their team saw the video and tried to pull some strings and get it taken down, but the fact of the matter is, reaction videos are covered under fair use. So shout out to the copyright laws. But they tried to silence me, and that video is back up now, thank goodness. So yeah, I think it just goes to show, one, how right I am about what I was saying in the video, because while I was, of course, critical, because, you know, this is what we do on this channel, I don't think I was ever unfair or unreasonable. And if you really want to get down to it, watch my other Architectural Digest house tours. I am so much worse to the people in the other videos, and they're all still up. I have a video titled Does Diplo Exploit Jamaican People? That didn't get taken down. Do you know why it didn't get taken down? Because Diplo's team didn't say, "Uh-oh, we got to copyright strike this. We got to copyright strike this video with 28 views. We can't have this thing about our you know, about our precious lady out on the internet." Anyway, I've been holding all that in case you couldn't tell. So I apologize. Today we're gonna be I'm gonna tell everyone in the description, skip to 4 minutes and 10 seconds if you want to see what's up. Skip my opening rant. Anyway, today, what's up, everybody? It's a content review. We're back with another review. Today we're checking out another Architectural Digest house tour inside Lenny Kravitz's regal Paris home, which you know, I'm excited to see. Lenny Kravitz, I've seen a previous Lenny Kravitz Architectural Digest house tour somewhere in Brazil, like his Brazilian ranch, and he was like walking around with his shirt off the whole time. And I gotta say, what is he, like 60 years old? He looks pretty good for 60. So you know, shout out Lenny Kravitz. But now we're inside Lenny Kravitz's regal Paris home. So we've gone from Brazil to France, and I'm excited to see what's going on here. I just know something special is about to happen. And Lenny Kravitz, he's like the kind of rich guy where it's like he's like so rich, and it's just like he's like crazily rich, but it's like it's somehow it's like you like that he's that rich, you know, like you're like, yeah. It doesn't like make you mad. It's like I don't know. It just feels right, you know? So anyway, maybe I'm gonna feel that's how I felt watching the Brazil video. But let's see. Here we go. Without further ado, let's get into it.
AD, welcome to Hotel de Roxy. Come on in.
Wearing sunglasses inside, got bare feet. Is this Paris? Sitting in a chair.
Well, first of all, this place is called Hotel de Roxy. It's named after my mother because it was her dream to come live in Paris.
Crazy fit.
She wanted to retire.
Crazy
after doing
jacket.
11 seasons of The Jeffersons, and she never got to do it. So I'm doing it for both of us. And
is he looking at the camera? Where is he looking?
This place is a real gift. I've been in this house for 22 years now, but I've been in Paris my whole career. When my first album, Let Love Rule, came out in '89, they weren't quite sure how to market me in America because I didn't fit in a box. So they sent me to Paris. It's my favorite city in the world. It's just an inspiring place culturally.
Okay.
Music, art, fashion, cuisine. It's got it all. I love Paris, but I love this house. And I walked through the front door into this entry, and I knew I was at home. This place was made to make music in. It's got the most beautiful reverb, as you can hear. I got the opportunity to work with Steinway, and I designed this grand piano a few years ago. And
I was wondering about that
it's a piece
piano.
that I'm really proud of. I wanted to use an African form for the piano
It's
and
nice.
blend
It's got some good
the two
wood.
styles of European design and African design. And I designed it for this space.
It
The
does
legs,
sound like
as
he's
you
like
can
on the
see,
verge of falling
are
asleep, like
hand-carved.
beyond relaxed.
And all of the design started with the design of the legs. And all of the bronze work is all hand done. And the pedals are the same. This house continually pays tribute.
Does
my
he still
ancestors.
like? He's not really doing.
And as you'll see,
what's
as we
he
walk through
doing
the
these
house,
days? You know,
there's photographs of
he's still
them
making music, but
everywhere. All of this photography tells a story throughout the house, through Black history, American.
he's like
and
he's
African.
on something. He can
It's
barely
all
stand
African.
up.
But that's Gordon Parks, who's one of my favorite photographers and artists, and I had the pleasure of getting to know him before he passed. And this photograph is taken by Ouija. It reminded me of my family.
Ouija
my
of Ouija
grandparents,
board?
when they used to take me out in New York City, and you would get dressed. You'd put on, as we would say, your Sunday best, and go out on the town.
It's very uninspired stock music for a Lenny Kravitz house tour.
This is the Petit Salon. It's called the Roxy Room, and it's dedicated to my mother, as she was the love of my life. I was a mama's boy. I found a bunch of photographs that my father had taken of my mother in the late 60s and got them framed by the same framer that does a lot of framing for the Louvre. I just wanted to have a room where I was surrounded by her image. This is my favorite photograph of my mother. It's just a moment And I love the composition, the hat, the look on her face. And that photograph, one of the major ways that I remember her is in the late 60s, she would read poetry in Central Park. And this guy, he used to play the guitar. And she would sit like that and read Langston Hughes and other poets. It's one of the deepest impressions I have of her. For me, soul
I'm not
the
saying anything because I'm
most
just
essential
appreciating what's happening
element.
here.
Putting yourself into it, whatever your
And-
soul
and
is. You know, people
he's
ask,
moving
well, how
really
do you
slow,
define your
so
design? I call it soulful elegance. You know, it's being elegant, sophisticated, but with soul, you know, with your heart, with your spirit. Because design and elegance without that feeling is just designer names and, you know, stuff. But when you're collecting, and it really reflects who you are, what you are, where you've been, it's beautiful, you know? Whatever your style is, just being authentic.
Is he a Sagittarius? He's wearing
who
a
you are.
turquoise
We all
ring.
have to tell our story.
What the hell is that? What is... The music started playing before he was even done talking. The editor fell asleep too. Okay, let's hear that again.
To tell our story.
Well, he was done, but it just... They're like, wake up, everybody! Wake up!
This is the Grand Salon, and this is
Oh my.
where I receive folks. This is where we hang out.
Where he
We all sit around,
receives folks,
sit on the
okay.
floor and play music. It's got a lot of art in here that I love. The whole room is built around
I'm looking up
Muhammad
Lenny
Ali,
Kravitz's
his
birthday.
legacy, and his message captured by Andy Warhol. I love Andy Warhol, but
He's born
I
in May.
love Muhammad Ali. And yes, he was the greatest boxer, but what I love about Muhammad Ali is the humanitarian work, the civil rights work. He was a freedom fighter, and that is so important.
Oh,
If you
Lenny.
think about the things he was saying at
Lenny, you
that
should have had a
time
cup
in
of
the
coffee
60s,
or something.
He said some very challenging things, but he was so intelligent, and he had a great wit and strength, and he knew how to balance that all together. This room is about that.
He spoke with some conviction there. That was unusual.
Another thing that I love about this room is this is the first chandelier that I designed, that Kravitz Design did. This chandelier was made for Swarovski, and it was in one of the art fairs years ago. It's called the Hotel de Roxy.
It's a nice
Some of the articles in
chandelier.
here that are giving me so much vibe are these African sculptures that I got from Church Boutique, which is one of my favorite boutiques in the world. It's run by my good friend Rodney Burns, and he has curated quite a few things in the house. Yeah, these chairs were done by Kravitz Design many, many years ago. I love when you do something years ago and you have no idea where they're going to end up, but when they end up where they are, it looks like they were designed for that space. At the end of the day, it's all about comfort,
He's
creating
like,
an ambiance where
he
you can
needs to bring
feel
the energy
relaxed.
levels up,
A space
man.
that opens
He's making me fall
communication,
asleep right
the
now.
lines,
And
the
I'm at
silhouettes,
work. This is my
the
job,
fabrics,
guys.
the lighting. The
Don't tell
art,
my boss I
you
was
know,
about
all
to
of
fall
it.
asleep.
It all matters, but at the end of the day, if it was not comfortable, then it's not working.
There's that music again. Wake up! Oh, that was some White Lotus.
This is the dining room.
That flute
I
in
like
there.
to have dinner parties. and invite
Walter
interesting
Goggins.
people from all
Walter
different
Goggins.
backgrounds to sit and enjoy a meal and conversation. This room is centered around this photograph of my grandfather, who was the head of the family and such an inspirational figure to
But he
me.
didn't do up his top
This
button.
photograph was
Head of the
taken
family,
by
but his
Ruben
top button was
Fanager years
undone.
ago
I
in
don't
Nassau,
know.
Bahamas. I love
Was
that
he really
he's
the head
here
of the family?
looking over the table, still blessing everyone who comes in here. I feel his presence, and I love seeing him every day.
I'm just
This
kidding.
room's all about the nighttime. I never
That's a
have
nice
lights
picture.
on very bright. People come in here and they think it's quite dark. So the lights are always on very dimly, and it just feels rich and warm and vibey, and that's the way I like it. This is by one of my favorite artists
How tall
in the
is he?
furniture world.
He
I
looks
have
short.
several pieces of his, And I've been collecting him for a long time. This is Paul Evans. He was an absolutely incredible artist, and I'm just drawn
1.75 meters?
to
I don't
his
believe
work.
that.
How
Why is
brutal,
Lenny Kravitz so
how
fit?
elegant. This table is designed by Carl Springer, and I've had this for many years. I love it. The lacquer is just worn. It's got a lot of character. These are Africa chairs. Scarpa had these for a very long time. They just made their way to Paris. And the
Scarpa.
two chairs at the end I found at the Paris flea market.
Okay, I'm not as
at Les Pouces,
amazed.
where I go every week. One of my favorite things to do in Paris, looking for
I'm
furniture.
not as
and
amazed
art
as the
from all
Brazil
these
video.
wonderful vendors that really curate well. We're in the library, and this library probably means the most to me because my mother, she kept speaking about learning French and reading books, and that she wanted to have a library. And it was something that stuck with me. And it's actually filled with a lot of books that she had. A lot of the African art books were hers, and a lot of the literature was hers. Those are James Brown's boots. James Brown is
James
it.
Brown's boots.
James Brown is the funk. James Brown is the rhythm. James Brown
James
taught
Brown
me
is
so
the
much
funk. James Brown is the
and gave the
rhythm.
world
James
so
Brown
much
taught him so much
joy
and gave the world so much
and,
joy. And he also
full
beat
of
women.
powerful messages. Say it loud.
Are you gonna say that part, Lenny? No.
Downstairs is the work floor. That's
But
where the
who
studio
didn't
is.
do that
I
back
collect
in the day,
pieces that
right?
have great
Right,
meaning and
guys?
inspiration
Right,
to me.
guys?
People that changed my life, that inspired me, that educated me, and all of the things I have down there came to me different ways. Some personally, Jimi Hendrix, James Brown, Prince, Bob Marley, Miles Davis,
Wow.
John Lennon. On my birthday many years ago, I was at Yoko Ono's place in the Dakota, and she said, "Today's your birthday."
This reminds me of the
and she said, "Come here."
the
She took me into
Hall
the
of
room
Sports
where there was a set of
memorabilia at
drawers
Drake's
that
house.
still had John's clothes in it, and she pulled out this
Lenny Kravitz is
beautiful
kind of
shirt.
like the
She
Drake
said this was one
of
of his favorites.
his
Happy
vibe.
birthday.
If you think about it.
We're in the bedroom. It's a gift to be able to sleep peacefully every night. The word recreation.
This place is huge, man.
Recreation. When you're an artist, to be able to continually be inspired, you have to continually recreate so that you can be vibrating at the frequency you need to be able to pick up the things that you're being transmitted. I'm just an antenna, you know. I don't do this. It comes to me. This room provides that space for me to be able to close the doors and recreate myself on a daily basis. It's such a luxury to have a room with this kind of volume, and the oval shape is just extraordinary. And very few pieces. Really, it's just the bed and two chairs, two tables and two lamps and a console. But they're all very substantial and hold weight. And so you're able to put very few things in the room.
POV, you're
all
Lenny
very
Kravitz
bold
waking up in the morning.
and give a lot of energy. And of course, the Moroccan rugs, which I've always loved. You know, I sleep on the floor sometimes. This portrait that you see on the wall is the first thing I ever got at the flea market here in Paris. Back in the early 90s, Vanessa Paradis turned me on to the flea market. We used to go together all the time to buy furniture. And I saw this beautiful charcoal drawing of Leontine Price, who I love, one of the best opera singers ever. I bought it just like that, came in that frame. That portrait has been with me since then. I just love the elegance and the strength of her image, you know, and she was just an incredible
It's all very interesting, but
singer.
it's so
Music
sleepy.
is essential. You know, I have Bang & Olufsen all throughout the house. I love their products. I love their design. I did not want to have a television in the bedroom. I have this room next door where I can watch films, and there's a guest room where my special guests stay. And then you have the landing, the area out there where I sit sometime. That's it on this floor. So now I'm going to take you down to the basement so you can experience the
Imagine if he was
heart
your dad.
and soul
What would
of this
that be
house.
like?
Come on.
Oh, is there a party happening? What the hell? What the hell is going on? Or is he gonna explain this? Okay, so he has like a club in his basement. It's very small. But is it accessible to the public? Like, what's going on here?
The design of this house. It's been an evolution.
That was so
because
bizarre.
living here when it was empty, did work on the place, put it together in the way I felt at the time. But I've evolved over the last 22 years. And so the house has just been completed to where it's at the place that I am now. And I know that this will last. I won't need to touch it again in my lifetime. It represents so many parts of my history, my story, my evolution. And, you know, Zoe will take it from here.
Interesting.
AD, thanks for coming
Are
by.
they going to credit the dancers?
Hope you
Let's
enjoyed
see.
yourself. And next time you're in Paris, ring the bell. Door's always open. Peace.
I didn't see any dancer credits. Wow. I mean, something about that, it's just, it felt strange. It felt strange. What is this? These horrible thumbnails. I snuck into an E-rated lobby. Is it? What the hell is that? Why is that
AD,
being recommended to me?
Welcome to Hotel de Roxy.
I want to... This isn't... I found this to be interesting. There's like the front door, and then there's this
AD,
very long
welcome to Hotel de Roxy.
entryway. I'd like to see this house in person. I think I'm very intrigued by it. I'd like to talk to Lenny Kravitz. I think it's very interesting. He thinks some very interesting things. Obviously, he's a little out there, but I believe he's being his authentic self, you know, which I think is good. I don't feel that he's putting on a performance or being held at gunpoint like a certain Jenner would be necessarily, or a Diplo or whatever. To me, I didn't really like grasp what like the house actually is, you know, or like what's going on in it. It felt a little bit like it just had like a sinister undertone to it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because like it was just white and earth tones, and I love myself earth tones, but there's just something off about it. I don't really know. I can't put my finger on it exactly. It's maybe because it was so dark, maybe because it was so white, maybe it was both of those things, maybe it was something else, but I'm not sure. I really like the bedroom. The bedroom was really good. I guess here's something that came to my mind in case anybody's watching this video 24 minutes in, which is probably 0 people. If you made it this far, comment grilled cheese. Say grilled cheese in the comments if you made it this far. So I watched this and I see, okay, Lenny Kravitz is obviously, he considers himself, and I think most people would consider himself to be, but I'm saying consider because I don't want to say who Lenny Kravitz is, because I don't think that's my business, you know? He can say the type of person that he is himself. But for me, I perceive him as someone who considers himself to be a pretty spiritual person. And you know, speaking of Walter Goggins, and his the new season of White Lotus season 3, which is about you know, not specifically about it, but it touches on, you know, Buddhism, um, and spirituality, of course, and, you know, materialism and whatever. Just classic White Lotus stuff. So Lenny Kravitz is this supposedly very spiritual person, and he's in this really beautiful house, and he lives in it on his own, and he surrounded himself with all of these, I have to assume, are like extraordinarily expensive objects, and they're like very nice, don't get me wrong, they're all really nice, but they're obviously like very clearly extraordinarily expensive. Like I like the things in his house are probably like worth a reasonable fraction of like the house itself, if not like very close to the same amount, which is, you know, is interesting, just from the perspective of like, here's this spiritual man surrounding himself with like extraordinarily expensive things, and they're obviously very beautiful. And I think him and Prince, or Lenny Kravitz and Prince, share some similarities in that regard, in the sense that like Prince was like famously someone who like loved to surround himself with like beautiful things, or just beautifulness, like beautiful people, beautiful objects, beautiful whatever, you know, and that meant something to him. And this obviously, it means something to Lenny Kravitz, but just observing the sort of his character, and then like that what he surrounds himself with, maybe that's what's giving me a sinister energy. Is I feel like it's not that there's anything wrong with the decisions that he's made, but they don't really like seem connected to one another. Like the level of like the ostentatiousness of his material belongings sort of, it suggests that perhaps like a different kind of person would be a different kind of person would be like at the helm of the decisions being made, or like what the objects are in the house. But like it's he obviously he knows how much these things cost, and you know, good quality and nice things aren't inexpensive, you know, they cost a lot of money for a reason. But I don't know, there's just something like there's just this like sinister energy just like bubbling underneath. And I don't know, but I do like the room dedicated to his mother. I like his the proudness, you know, is like he's got his grandfather's room, he's got his mother's room. I think all of that is great. And I like that he said he feels that the house is complete, you know, to him, like he's not going to change it the way that it is ever. And then there's that room in the basement, which what is that? Is the only way to get in there like from, I don't know what the deal is, you know? I would really love to know more about that. This is very intriguing to me. And where did those people come from? Who are they? What are they doing? What sort of purpose does that room serve? As like, does he say, okay, I'm having a party and like we're all gonna go into this room and we're just gonna hang out in this room the whole time? Because I don't know. When I think about the club, I think about it as like you don't go through someone's house to get to the club. It's sort of like this like room that has it fits strangely into the overall ethos of the house. And it feels like unreal, you know, as there's, and like I'm getting that got that same feeling throughout the whole video. Is like, is this real? Like, am I in a dream right now? I don't know. I think if like, if someone with more energy and enthusiasm had shown the house, some of its aura wouldn't really come across. Like, I feel like, and maybe this is a testament to how, you know, like maybe it's how genius Lenny Kravitz is, but I feel like this house would not be that revelatory, so to speak, if he wasn't like physically in it. And maybe that's part of his vision as an artist. But anyway, it's incredibly interesting to me. I'm gonna have to listen to his music, because I know like some of his songs, his poppy stuff, and it's anyway. I'm rambling now. This is for sure the longest video I've ever made that isn't the McGee concert tier list video. If you haven't seen that, you should watch it. Anyway, I'm getting tired. My voice is getting tired. It's getting late. I need to go to bed, and I gotta rate his house out of 10 before we go. I don't know. I want to give it like, there's just, I don't know if I can rate it. I think it goes beyond rating because it's so him. So I don't know. I'll give it an L out of 10. L for Lenny. Anyway, that's all for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.